Good morning. I'd like to call the Destin Fire Control District Special Meeting to order. We're at 848 Airport Road here in Destin. The date is August 4th, 2021 at 9 a.m. This meeting is open to public, and I'd like to open the floor up for any public comments. Seeing none, the floor is closed to public comments. We're here to discuss and take any of all actions relating to the construction and remodel of the new fire station on Calhoun Avenue. So, Chief, any updates?
Yes, sir. As the commission knows, you directed us, myself, Commissioner Buckingham, and DC, our attorney, to get together as a committee to come back with a recommendation to the commission on how we should be able to proceed forward. Initially, DC gave like 3 options, and so we looked at those 3. And what we felt was the best interest of the district for a variety of reasons, and I'll outline a few of those. And then we'll also memorandum it in writings for record. But we looked at the 3 options that DC had recommended to the commission and came back with selection and our recommendation of option 3, which was the one we felt would save the most amount of money and would complete the project in the most expeditious fashion possible, and would also be in the best interest of our citizens for emergencies, as well as our firefighters' health and safety, as well as the citizens' health and safety. And that would be to allow us to, myself, as representative of the board, to be able to negotiate and work with different vendors to get the best price possible to move forward, and being able to do that would also allow us to do it in an expeditious fashion, to be able to expedite the process to get it done. And I believe with Commissioner Buckingham's construction experience, DC's guidance on staying between the white lines on the road, and then mine of the needs of our firefighters and the budget, that with the 3 of us working, and then making that call to be able to move forward with different vendors, whether that might be a foundation vendor, or it might be a block vendor, or it might be a plumber or electrician. But we'll utilize, we'll work through a contractor to get all this done, but we'll be able to kind of go direct with some of those vendors to be able to kind of get the best and quickest option available. So that our recommendation is to allow us or the fire chief to be able to move forward in an expeditious manner that's in the best interest of the district to accomplish this project.
So moved.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, take a vote. All in favor? Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
We'll
doing
start on it. Actually, we'll start on it today. And I think you'll start to see some changes occurring rapidly. We, the 3 of us, had already discussed on, we had initially talked about on what project we want to start on down at the property, whether it would be the garage or how we're going to move forward. During our discussions, and after a couple of comments that I made to the board at our last meeting, we kind of decided that the remodel of the Bay House needs to come first. I know the board has been down and seen the quarters that the firefighters are working in right now. Those quarters are extremely cramped. They're crawling over each other to get out, to get to a call. They understand this is a temporary situation, but we would like to make it as temporary as we can in as short a time as we can. So we're going to look to remodel that Bay House and be the first part of the project, and get that knocked out so we can relocate our firefighters down there, so they're not 2 things to accomplish. One, provides for the health and safety of our folks, and then also our citizens, because relocating down there gives us the ability to get to the boat faster on those boat calls, and we'll relocate the temporary structure, the big top structure. We'll relocate that. We were going to put it on the, I don't want to go north, south, east, west, everybody gets confused on a piece of property the way it's oriented, but I'll say on the privacy fence side where the jet ski ramp is, we were going to locate it on that side near the small house in the front. With us going to take the Bay House home first, we're going to relocate it to the other side and close to the Bay House.
Right.
It accomplishes a couple of things, but it also provides, when we get to the point of working on the new garage, they'll have direct access to it, and that will not be in the way. So there's a lot of things that, as we talked about, it actually helps to accomplish. So
We don't have to move it twice.
yes, sir. And by taking on the Bay House first and the remodel of that, I think we think that's the wisest choice for us to move forward. So we'll start
Good
working with
decision. I like that.
a contractor and some vendors to get that accomplished. So y'all know that's what we're working on first.
Since the 7-year-old building, I know I brought up before, for safety of our employees, I want to make sure we do that test for the asbestos and for the methane and make sure our employees are safe once they move in that building. Good.
Yes, sir.
Take care of.
I'll ensure that it's done and then report back to the findings of what it comes back.
Thank you.
For sure. And we'll make sure that whatever it is taken care of. If it comes back with anything at all, we'll make sure that's one of the first things we do before we move our employees.
That is where the 70-year-old building, you don't know what's in it. So
Understand. Understand. And we're hopeful that the lift will be delivered. Hopefully it'll be delivered Friday, but we don't know for sure. But we know that Frank has multiple lifts coming in this week. We anticipate one of them will be ours. If it is, we'll anticipate that it will be put in shortly when it comes in on Friday. We're also working with JAT Associates in guiding us through the permitting process to be prepared for a new dock. So we can get all the approvals and shepherd us through the DEP process, and get those approvals and permits, as well as the city. So it'll help us through all that. So we have multiple things going on. I will say that us being located there, we had a shift day, just happens to be that shift that was working. We had a call for a sinking vessel. Of course, boat 9 goes out, and then on the way back, multiple other different types of calls come in, and they end up having another vessel that was in distress as in the past, that we went and helped those folks, and then we ended up rescuing 10 people, and this was during the week, Monday through Thursday, so it wasn't on the weekend when we had boat staff. So that crew got on the boat, launched it, and got it out. So I think it's making a world of difference already. We knew it would. I think it's made a world of difference already. We're already starting to see the impacts of it being located there. I have met with the chief of the Coast Guard Station here recently. I kind of talked about us being there, working together, coordinating, maybe doing some training together now that we're going to be right there on the water so that we have more coordinated response and effort moving forward. So, and he's very receptive, very, very nice, very professional, very nice individual. So we're going to be moving forward. We're trying to coordinate and train more with them now that we're on the water and we have that ability to kind of do it right there. It's compared to having to go and get the boat and take it out. So I think a lot of positive things moving forward with that station for sure.
That's the decision we made to get it there, so.
I think
I think
it's
it's
one of
going
the
to
best
pay
decisions this district's made in years.
huge dividends in the long run for the community.
And with that said, meeting with the Coast Guard, we got a pre-notice that we were awarded the grant, which is outstanding. And anticipating of receiving that, Commissioner Green and two of the battalions, Chief Anderson and Chief Taylor, on Monday went over to a local Mobile manufacturer and kind of previewed their yard and their manufacturing process and all that. And I know that Commissioner Green could probably enlighten, but I think they were impressed with the facilities and the product that that particular manufacturer is designing and selling. So
Tommy, you've been involved in both building of the boats.
Well, actually, I work for Richard Bertram Company and I work for Hatteras too, which is two of the large boat manufacturers in the nation. And But I was totally impressed with the operation of the Silver Ship, the quality of the materials they use, which is the highest grade aluminum that you can get, and looking at their manufacturing capabilities and what they were building at this time. I mean, it was military, it was Navy SEAL boats, and I mean, it was amazing what they did. And I commend Battalion Chief Anderson and Taylor, because they asked the right questions and looked for the right answers, and I'm totally impressed with it. And I don't see where there's gonna be an issue with that, because they'll be able to accommodate anything we need. And,
Where are they at? What area?
but we,
Theodore.
Did they talk anything about how long production would take if they
it
were?
would probably take a year, to be honest with you, because they do quite a bit of military contracting, and the quality in how what they're doing is I was totally impressed with it.
All made from hand.
And we met with the engineers, went through 3D drawings and stuff on the computers, and they went over every facet of it. But I'm exceptionally proud of Battalion Chief Anderson, because he's focusing on the right things and making sure it's just what we need. So
I appreciate you taking the time to do
look
that.
forward to
I know that was your day off.
And well, then, but to be able to have them right there too,
Mm-hmm.
in Mobile, where they could be over here in a matter of a couple hours, or, a 15-year warranty on the whole.
What's nice too is if we got any questions, we can go over there and walk them through any
Right.
changes that we need to make that we didn't think about.
Well, they were very open to any changes that we wanted to make, but, just from what they had lined out already
Mhm.
was totally acceptable.
It's a lot closer than
How big is
Seattle.
42.
What's your power by?
It's well, we're looking to power it with 4 Yamaha outboards. And
That might be part of the delay too, when we say it's gonna be a year.
I was just about to
Trying
say,
get motors right now is
Motors,
difficult,
great.
so
Yeah.
I think that's part of it when they say building their boat is, I mean, because of their quality of craftsmanship, it takes a period of time. But I think the reason that, some of the reports that I received from the battalions is that, they want to make sure that they have the motors. So they give you that year. It could be quicker if the motors were able to be quicker, but, they want to make sure that they don't short somebody and tell them something that they might not be able to get those motors in that time, because they don't know what the status of it's going to be, especially in today's current market.
I mean, just getting a Callan for one of our motors.
Right now,
It's a year.
that's right.
But what I was impressed with too is this 42-foot vessel. I was concerned about the draft on the boat because of the shallow water here.
Right.
And we're looking at a draft of 18 to 24 inches.
For a 42-foot boat?
Yes, sir.
That's nice.
Wow, crazy.
That's nice.
I mean, it's,
That's nice.
the outboards on it, they mainly deal with Suzuki outboard motors is what they deal with, but they have no problem with the Yamahas or Mercury's or whatever we decide to go with.
For some reason, the military's using nothing but Suzuki.
Yeah, well,
They've all gone to Suzuki.
Mhm. And they were building, like I say, they were building 36-foot boat. It was a Navy SEAL boat, and it was set up with the Suzuki's on it. But it's just impressive how they do everything and what they take into consideration when they build it.
Yeah.
As far as loading people onto the boat, how to get somebody out of the water and in the boat, and they're doing it,
How old is our boat? Can't remember.
2003.
Tell you what, I saw our boat yesterday, though. It looks good.
Oh, it does.
That's a good looking boat.
Oh, there's no reason, so with that said, because, there's been discussions in-house, not with the commission, but in-house, where, you know, what are we gonna do with the other boat? And I said, we're keeping it. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we got one of the best boats in this.
Quick response boat.
Yeah.
Right, and our boat's one of the more, as far as safe boat, because of when it was manufactured and the way it was designed, it's one of the more desired boats that are out there that they've ever made. We've had folks offer us to buy it, and we tell them it's not for sale, because they don't make what we have anymore.
Right.
They just don't do it, they don't engineer it, they don't sell it, it's just not there. I've had other fire chiefs come and look at our boat, want our boat, but Safe Boat won't make our boat. So they offer, hey, we'll buy yours if you ever decide to sell it. So we know it's very desirable. Our intent is to, just like we have, and I think we discussed it very early on when we were talking about even applying for a grant, is that we have a backup for everything. We have a backup command vehicles, we have backup apparatus, whether it's an engine or it's a ladder, we have backup beach vehicles, everything we have is backup, we don't have one for the boat. So, and
We learned that when it went down.
and we learned that lesson.
Yes, we did.
So I think it's important that we have both vessels, and that there should be no intent to sell it. So, and with you bringing it up, that it looks good, it does. And we're very proud of our 2003 boat. We absolutely are. We love that boat, but we know that we need another boat, and
Well,
there's a lot of reasons why we're going to go the direction we're going, and why we put the grant in for the size boat and all that we did. There's just a lot that goes into that. I'm not saying that these two might be the only two boats that we ever have in our fleet. I'm not saying that. I just know that having two boats is extremely important to us, as we realize when one comes out of the water, we don't have another vessel.
well, Chief, I'd like to compliment John and your staff for keeping up the equipment that we have. I mean, y'all do a fine job.
Thank
We
you.
get a lot of years out of the equipment, and even the fireboat being 2003, and minus the accident, that boat was still in great
It
shape.
was. Yes.
So, y'all done a great job of keeping our equipment.
I'll pass
So
that
we
word
appreciate
along.
that. And the stations, I mean, everything that we have is got age to it, but it looks
Yeah.
good. So,
I
Well,
appreciate
what's
it.
gonna be so good about this boat too is in rough conditions, this is built to be able to go through pretty much any kind of sea condition.
Mhm.
And, I was totally impressed with.
well, when the Coast Guard rolls, we can roll with them as support.
That's right.
That's good.
We'll be prepared to be able to go out in any sea that they can go in, we'll be able to do so.
Was, DC able to find out anything about, maybe the concept of subcontracting for captain on the boat?
No, sir. I think he focused on the committees and get the recommendation back to this, it's been a week. I think he focused on just getting the recommendation to the board. But he knows that that's something that the board has asked him to perform. The reason he's not here today, unfortunately, is he's got depositions that he wasn't able to kind of reschedule, and he had to be scheduled for 3 months. But no, sir, not that I'm aware of. He hasn't informed me that he's got any
Okay,
answers to that.
well, I didn't expect it, but I
Yes.
just thought I'd ask.
Yes, sir.
But, that's something that
But I think we
we
can.
need to take good consideration.
We'll get the legal answer, for sure. But in my experience, I'll go with that. With my experience, I think we can. But we'll make sure that we get the legal definition from him and legal answer from our council.
I think this board, many years ago, when we were going through that tough time, said come somehow, some way, we're gonna find it to make sure that these guys have the best tools they need for their job. And I stand that ground. If this is the best for them to do their job, then you got my vote.
That's it for right now, and we still have meetings scheduled for every week. And as we have, if we're not needing it, I would say that even with the board's vote today, that there'll be times when we'll come back to the board, one, to ensure that you're receiving reports on statuses, but we might ask the board's opinion on different aspects of the projects as we move forward with those projects. But for the most part, we're just gonna start making it happen.
May I bring up one thing about the other station real quick, just to kind of get a consensus of what we want to do here?
Absolutely.
It's my understanding that, of course, I'm working real hard with a contractor, getting quotes, and that close to having some kind of an idea to bring to the board, to our board. But one of the things is, it appears that we're definitely gonna have to, correct me if I'm wrong, we're gonna have to fire sprinkle the housing. With that said, we have to bring in a minimum of a 4-inch line from the street all the way down one of the driveways. Obvious it's gonna stay on the north side because the garage is gonna be on the south side. And with the new garage coming, which will be roughly when?
I hope in the next couple of weeks that it's.
And I'm working with the chief on a design of trying to now take the temporary garage from the south side and put it on the north side. So where I'm going with this is, I would highly suggest me being a rich site contractor, knowing what it's gonna take to put that line in, is to allow the chief and I to get together as soon as we can with either B&C or whoever we're gonna have to sub this out to, if nothing else, get the line down the driveway now, where point A and point B, we can hook it up later, that way we can get the garage. But it's very important to get this line in.
I agree.
I think it's well within what we've already approved this morning, and you guys go get this done.
Looking forward.
Yeah, because we don't need to move it 2 or 3 times.
No, it's gonna be one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll give it to you one thing. And sorry for being late.
We got it done, taken care of.
And thanks for your time on it. I mean, you're spending some time on it, and we appreciate it.
And he'll be putting some more time in on it.
We got a lot done.
With your expertise, you saved the district a lot of money. We appreciate that.
One thing about the new boat too is Jeff knows, Battalion Chief Anderson, knows he's got to get together an RFP, because of the price of the boat, blah, 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 but, and he's working on trying to get that done by the weekend and to get it out to, Silver Ship, you know, to get an RFP or anybody else who would be, but, I don't know of many boat manufacturers that can do what they do. That's what the military used, because not many people can do that. But, Battalion Chief Anderson is working on getting that RFP out, because that's the quicker we can get started.
I'm actually just surprised they would give us a price for a delivery a year from now.
Yeah,
right.
A lot of the boat builders right now aren't even selling their 22s. Either they're all sold or they're not quoting them, because they don't know what the raw materials are gonna cost.
Or if they can get it.
Oh, yeah, if they can get it. Yeah.
Well, that's what, we discussed that actually with Dave, the guy over there at Silver Ship, that they buy in advance, or way ahead. He's got so much material there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He could probably build 100 boats with what material he has there right now.
Good.
I think they were working on maybe 12 boats. But they had one building 3 times the size of this building that was nothing but material.
Wow, wow, amazing.
And, aluminum. And,
Imagine stacking that much aluminum on this side.
It's like a Tesla effect.
Money.
Hey, one other quick thing, Rick.
Goes out his
I
cars.
just want to let the board know that I met with the city. I had a meeting set up where went over the plans for the remodel and with the building department, and it was perfect. Got to get a couple things to them, and they understand that the timing is in essence for us to get the guys in there immediately. So we got a few things that we're going to get working on, and the chief and DC and I'll get together and bring you all something back, hopefully next Wednesday. And I don't know if you guys talked about that before I got here, but
I stayed away from some of it.
hopefully get back with you guys next Wednesday with some thoughts and some suggestions and ideas and right across this board.
Okay, perfect. Excited. I'm glad to see things moving forward a little bit more rapidly. So I know it takes time. You gotta crawl before you can walk, and then you gotta walk before you run, so we'll be soon running.
Give us time to run. Let's run.
Let's run, at least that dog.
The Olympics are on, so I think we can run.
Yeah.
So,
Good deal. Well, anything else?
That's it.
Seeing none, I'd like to open the floor for public comments again. Seeing none, the floor is closed for public comments. Our next meeting is a regular meeting scheduled August 10th, 2021 at 5:30 PM. Nothing else. This meeting is adjourned.
You gotta stay